This November, I wrote 61,318 words, which is about 15,000 words away from the end of my book. At least I think so. Do you really ever know for sure until you're done? How do you know you're done? Seriously, how do you know? I'm sure that a lot of people want to know how to win NaNoWriMo. And I don't mean like barely win, write 10,000 words the last 2 or 3 days to finally make it. I mean, how do you consistently write enough to win NaNoWriMo with time to spare and actually enjoy yourself a little bit? I did my first NaNoWriMo in 2008 and this was year 10 and now I'm done forever. There have been years when I didn't write enough throughout the month and had to rush a lot toward the end to get to 50,000. Not fun. Didn't enjoy those years, never finished any of those books. But I do plan on finishing this one, and the reason that I wrote so much was that I used my weekends to my own personal advantage. The last weekend, right before I finished, I think I wrote 5,000 or 6,000 words throughout the whole weekend, which really isn't a lot if you know how to plan out your time and manage your time wisely, I guess. But my biggest secret is not actually really secret, because the people at NaNoWriMo tell you exactly what you need to do to win and you don't even realize it. 1,667 words a day. That is literally all you need to do every day in November to win. But here's what happens when people do NaNoWriMo for the first time or the third time or the 10th time. They either get excited and write a lot at the beginning and then decide they're gonna take a break, or they start off slow, don't get started right away, and just never really catch up. Catching up. Those are the 2 words that pretty much guarantee you're not going to be able to do it. If you have to catch up, your chances of actually ever doing what you need to do to get caught up are very low. Don't write so much at the beginning that you burn out and you can't write anymore. Listen, I know you're super excited and you have all these ideas and you've been waiting and you just want to keep writing, but restrain yourself. Don't let yourself write more than you need to, especially in the beginning, and I'm going to explain to you why that is. My favorite thing to do, this is gonna sound really weird, but just bear with me, is to start writing a scene that I am really enjoying and then stopping when I hit my daily word count, even if it's in the middle of the scene. You wanna know why I don't finish writing it that day? Because when I wake up the next morning, I still have something to sit down and write. I'm still excited about going back to that scene and finishing it. When you do everything you're excited about in one day and you go to write the next day, what do? What if you can't think of what to write? Hold yourself back so that you have carryover for the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. Also, don't take breaks, and here's what I mean by that. If you are a little bit ahead, don't take a day off. Don't think that just because you're ahead means that you can kind of relax a little bit. That is what gets so many people, is you take one day off and one day becomes 2 and 2 days becomes 2 weeks and all of a sudden it's over and you never finished. I have my strategy was at the very beginning to write only 2,000 words every weekday and maybe 3,000 words on Saturdays and Sundays. I always like to be a little bit ahead, but I don't take a day off because I'm 2,000 words ahead. I just stay ahead. You never want to be below that bar. There's that bar on that graph that tells you exactly where you need to be. If you can stay a little bit ahead of that, even at like 100 words ahead of that, That gives you reassurance. It's a cushion just in case something does happen and you can't write. It makes you feel better. You're like, oh, I'm doing really well. I'm gonna keep going. Take breaks throughout the day. Like, write your 1,000, 2,000 words or whatever, and don't like knock yourself out trying to write, I don't know, 5,000 words every day, because why do you need to do that? You don't need to do that. Like, it's fun sometimes, but like, don't do it every day. You're gonna hurt yourself. If you don't consistently write every day, like, that kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. Like, I even wrote on Thanksgiving. Like, you think, oh, I can't write on Thanksgiving, it's a holiday. I got up like later than I usually do, and before we even started cooking anything, I went downstairs for an hour and wrote 1,000 words. Trust me on this. And I'm learning this more and more as I do this experiment that I'm doing, and I'll tell you about it either in a second or in a different video, I don't know. Consistency. I'm sorry you hate that word, but listen. Listen. It's a habit. I get up every morning and I write 1,000 words, or I have for the past 2 weeks. I don't even have to think about it anymore. I don't even have to push myself to do it. It just happens because it has become part of my life. It's not gonna be part of my life forever because I'm gonna finish the book at some point, but keep going. Even if like you decide, I don't know, after NaNoWriMo I only wanna write 500 words or 250 words, there's something to be said about continuously doing the same thing over and over and over again. Your brain just decides at some point, oh, this is just how we're doing this now. This is no longer a struggle. For me, writing a blog post every day is no longer a struggle because I've done it almost every day for like 3 years or however long it's been. I don't know, has it been that long? I don't know, because I don't keep track of it, because it's just what I do now. Do a little bit every day. And you can wake up in the morning and write 1,000 words, and then at night, you don't have to do anything. You can still take a break without actually taking a break. Maybe you're doing your breaks wrong. Maybe you think I need to take a whole day off. No, you don't. I know it's hard. The first time I did NaNoWriMo, I thought it was super hard. Still went anyway. Why? I mean, first you have to pick a story that you actually care about and that you want to write, and then it's not just a fleeting idea in your head. Like, I had this idea for my book that I'm still writing like 6 months ago, 7, 8 months ago. Like, I've been waiting for a long time. But you also just have to realize that even if you're not going to write every single day your whole life, this is just 30 days. It's a busy time of year. You want to go shopping, you want to eat some turkey, I don't know, but just for 30 days, try it. Try writing every day. Don't exhaust yourself, but keep going. Don't quit. If you write 30 days in a row, it's actually kind of hard not to win. Like, it doesn't matter if you win on the 20th or the 25th or like at 11:59 on the 30th. I don't recommend waiting until then to win. I'm not saying that I haven't done it before. It doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter if you're happy with your story. It doesn't matter if 90% of what you've written is absolute trash. This is the first draft. All that matters is that you do it. You can worry about all the other stuff later. Like, I know, like, there's some things that I started writing in this book that I did write just for NaNoWriMo, because I'm like, I don't like this. I started writing it and I thought, this is not how I want the story to go. But I still got it out of my system anyway, because that's what I wanted to write that day. You're gonna get rid of stuff later. It's gonna happen. It's not, you're not wasting your time. This is not a waste of time. This is a first draft. It's gonna feel like you're wasting your time, but you're not. You're writing a book. It's gonna feel weird. You're not always gonna wanna do it. It's going to feel like you're not writing very well, but that's because you're trying to write a book in a month. No one writes a good book in a month or ever. It's not possible to write a good first draft. They all suck. We never see anyone's first drafts. I want to see John Green's first draft of Looking for Alaska, like really bad, like the whole thing. We don't see that stuff, and I promise that if I get this book published, I will show you what I wrote during NaNoWriMo. It's terrible, it's bad. There aren't enough descriptions. Stuff is random, all in the wrong place. I don't have all the facts right. I'm trying, that's all that matters. This is going on way too long. Here's what I want you to get out of this video. Stay consistent. Don't worry about all the crap that you're writing, and have a little bit of fun. That's all. That's how I won the past 10 years. I liked it a lot. I wrote stuff I had been wanting to write for a long time. A lot of it was garbage, a lot of it I never ended up finishing. But consistency is what got me through. Saying, get up and grind. Don't care if you hate that phrase. That's what's worked for me. I never lost. I'm a champion. I'm really not. A lot of people have done what I do, but you know, that's just how I do it. Maybe it's advice you need to hear. Maybe you just think I'm dumb and don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Let me know.